Hey everyone, Kayn here, and in this video we're gonna talk about spending money on the game, what sort of stuff you should buy in the early, and what sort of stuff you should buy a bit later. So, first things first, the thing that you should get almost any server, almost any time, is the lifetime patron. Now, this has a lot of value, like even more value than you can get for 10 bucks ever. So if you play the game for half a year, basically this Lenari per day is going to give you 7,000 Lenari. That's only for a half a year. You will get a little bit more because that's I think like 8,000 Lenari or whatever. And then you have the auto pillage. Now what auto pillage does is you clear all of these quests on auto. You don't have to run to them. Excuse me. You don't have to do them. Like everything is done on auto, and some of these dungeons do eventually get like 1, 2, 5 or even 10 hours of building rush, and without doing them or being lazy to do them, eventually you're gonna miss the rotation or the cooldown or whatever, and you're not gonna get them, and you're gonna be missing out on the rush. You're gonna be missing out on the experience, ability points, stat points, and eventually even when you max out the heroes, those stat points kind of help out in terms of like adding an additional stat, ability points or whatever, just further increasing the power of the heroes. And if you don't have that, it's a pretty rough game to even play if you cannot even finish the basic stuff. And when you would open the map, and then you would see literally like these exclamation marks everywhere, because you have one dungeon or one like escort for every city on the map, and there's like 100 cities on the map. So 100 exclamation marks every time you're trying to look at the map is kind of horrible to even look at, like I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, do keep that in mind. That is the most important. The second thing is the friggin' jacks, which you can get. Now it really depends what you're kind of doing in the game, what race you're playing. If you're playing dwarf, you can get, or rather you require to get the jacks. But if you're playing any other race, usually jacks will be a stat hero. So that is the second thing. The third thing is overpowering and even acquiring one hero. Now I've always said and will say and will deny a lot of people words that you require like 50 things to make this hero overpowered. The thing is, if you acquire this hero will be overpowered from the get-go. Like comparing to majority of the other heroes, this hero with bare items will do more in the early to mid servers than majority of the other heroes decked out with like their main stuff at 5-star or whatever. And yes, this hero with barely anything will do that. The thing is, this hero does a lot of damage, and I do mean a lot of damage, even without the core aspects of her build. So for example, if I take everything off, she still is gonna do like 40%, maybe 50% of her total damage, maybe 45-ish. It really depends. It's hard to calculate due to the attack scaling, due to the buffs that the I suppose arcane rod is providing. But yeah, do keep that in mind. This hero is overpowered just by herself. So the equipment, the staff you can get for free, I think before Void 100. Pistol is somewhere above Void 100, and the Lotus Fire is somewhere around Void 100-ish, maybe a little bit above 100. So majority of the time, like 1 to 2 months in the game, you're gonna be able to get these particular things like 100%. I'm not entirely sure on the pistol, so don't like I suppose be angry at me on that. I'm not sure about the pistol, but the other two you should be able to acquire rather easy. If not these, you should be able to acquire other equipment which will buff her damage regardless. So do keep that in mind. Then you have the premium artifact. So this is like the third thing, which is acquiring Valerie and then acquiring the premium artifact and 5-starring it. So this hero in general is gonna solo carry majority of the events. Now, the thing with this hero is the less army you place on your field, the better. And I do mean that in events. So for example, if you place a full field versus a full field, she's gonna hit only like 20 to 30% of the targets on enemy field. Now, if you place 2 skeleton squads in front of her, in the middle of the field, and you place Valerie behind, then majority of the enemy field is gonna clump up straight towards the skeletons, and Valerie is going to have range to hit everything on the enemy field. And her damage is area damage, and it spreads and it does a lot of damage to clumped up units. So usually fielding fielding less ends up Valerie clearing faster, or even clearing in general. So do keep that in mind, that if you cannot clear something or some stages or whatever, usually a Valerie and maybe 1 or 2 more heroes in a very small type formation where you would clump up the enemies is really gonna pass you just by herself. So yeah, the premium artifact is gonna buff her damage by quite a lot. There are so many things to cover up here, but you can pause the video and read. I think I've explained this in like a lot of the videos already. You do require this artifact 5-star as soon as possible, because it will increase a lot of her damage. Like, I do mean a lot of her damage. You're gonna see her exploding stuff a lot quicker. You're gonna see her waste a lot less time clearing something than she had before. And then, of course, the prism. Now, a lot of people are saying a lot of nonsense in terms of that Valerie without this particular prism is just garbage, right? It's not true, and it will never be true. The thing about this is majority of the Valerie's damage comes from her attack value, and then comes the other buffs. So she has 8 million attack, right? So if I remove this 75%, she's gonna lose 3.4 million attack. So basically we can just deem that like this percentage is a true stat value. And you can get the hero attack bonus from fine prisms, which you can easily get. You can get them from True Ruby. I think even True Amethyst has attack percentages in some of the arrays. So you can get this particular like bonus from a lot of other things not even related to True Emeralds. So this will be sort of a scuffed Valerie build, but still you're gonna do a lot of damage regardless. So some people are saying, yeah, but like a friggin' True Ruby Valerie will never work. It does work, because friggin' Valerie does a lot of damage due to the attack value scaling. So of course this, any burning damage increased by 100% is going to increase her damage, because majority of their damage, well, not majority of her damage, but her damage has burning effects and whatever. So that is kind of increasing her damage. But again, it's not the only thing that is buffing the Valerie to do damage. So do keep in mind, you have to work with what you have. So that aside, honestly, I wouldn't really advise people to spend money on the game unless there are specific events, specific packs, and whatever. Like, there are a lot of like traps in terms of the game which you can do or even make. So even the basic of the basic traps. So let's just for the sake of the video, let me just showcase what I mean. So we're gonna go into the covenants. One moment, let me just quickly convert stuff, because like literally that is what is gonna happen. So we're gonna batch select to remove the most useless ones, just so that I can show you something in terms of what is happening in the game. So once you upgrade something, right, regardless of what it is or what it was, like literally any feature, you should have something in your face popping up with like a purchase bag. Now, apparently, it didn't pop up. I'm not sure why. Maybe I already had this today. It like is once a day or something like that. But you have a pop-up for literally anything you do. So if you click a circle in Hero Mastery, it's gonna pop up with the pack to buy Hero Mastery. If you upgrade a prism, it has a pack with prisms. If you upgrade potential, it has a pack with potential. If you upgrade draconic, it has a pack with draconic. Like, those packs are annoying as all frick, right? And like, they are tempting, they're very tempting, but they're not very high value, most of them. And what I mean by high value is people have to realize that when a new feature appears, the value the packs like they have is not going to be very huge. So from what I can tell you, that whenever the last time the custom shop came here, like a month ago, like the anima boxes that they were selling, I think were about 480, like 450, 400. I'm not entirely sure, but I know it was about 150 to 200 of these boxes less for the pure stone. I know that the last time they sold this was like 2,560. So as you can see, the value increases the further the feature is in the game. So honestly, for majority of the people, I would not suggest to spend money on new features, excuse me, until like you have 1 or 2 months, or rather the feature is 1 or 2 months in the game. Then you get a lot of value. So unless you buying something like this, if you're gonna buy, is going to boost you up for you to win events, for you to gain more Lenari and stuff like that, like rank 1s in events, or even like rank 2s, something which will give you Lenari more so than you did before, right? So personally, I would tell majority of the people to get stuff in return, right? So if I would buy something, I would then expect to win an event, I would then expect to win PvP and then get Lenari and stuff like that, right? I wouldn't be spending money if I like wouldn't think that it would like help me out or whatever. And you have to value your money for what you're getting, and that is why I'm kind of saying, if you don't think that this is going to help you get something right now and win some event right now, you just can't wait like a month, and this pack will be like friggin' 800 anima boxes. So you would be spending that same $100 for like 200 more anima boxes later, and 200 anima boxes is like a level 15-ish anima thingy, whatever, or level 20. And that is a friggin' huge difference compared to like almost everything. So do keep in mind, like, your money has value and you have to know how to spend it properly, as the events do give a decent amount of Lenari, and if you pair it with spending, you can become pretty strong with proper use of it. Anyways, I think, well, the only other thing I can tell you is do watch what you're buying. Personally, what I kind of lack is the Warmaker's main, a premium artifact, and then the premium artifact materials. Now, do keep in mind, I have played 1 year in this game, on this account. However, the premium artifacts don't pose incredible value in the early servers. So some of the artifacts do, like Arcane Rod, but majority of the others don't have this incredible value as they do at my current stage. So if you're like 4 million, 5 million core, the premium artifacts don't have huge value, but if you're entering like 10, 11, 12 million like core power and you're facing stronger people, front lines you cannot clear and stuff like that, or heroes you need to keep alive, premium artifacts are like the go-to thing that you have to have. So it is a thing which you will have to have, and depending how long you play, usually that sort of a thing is not going to make your account weaker, but you're gonna be setting your account for the late game or later versions of the game. So that is like the only thing I would highly advise people to invest in if you're gonna think about playing the game for a long time. Again, do keep in mind, if you spend on the premium artifacts in the early, you're not gonna have huge boosts in power except for the arcane rod, and this is like only scaling towards later versions in the game, so do keep that in mind. The only other thing which I can suggest for you is just waiting for a specific event, purchase gifts, events where if you buy one pack you get materials from which you get more materials, and like there are nuances like that with a lot of pay to win events where you can get a lot of stuff even for $100, whereas compared to if I would take $100 now and just spend on something like this is almost nothing, right? Sure, it is like 650, this is nothing. Like, you can get this for, I don't know, like multiple of events. You can get this from like other stuff. Honestly, like, basically, you have to know what you should save for. You have to play the game, look into the events, save for specific events, like make your own calculations or whatever. Your money, again, has value, and you should spend your money to increase your account and not just buy random packs which you think you require, and at that moment you don't really require them, or they wouldn't be as useful. And if you would buy that same pack 1 month later, you would actually get a lot more stuff. So again, there are nuances like that which you should think about, nuances like that which you should really think about whether you require it now or you would kind of wait and get a lot more later. So yeah, that is pretty much the thing which I got screwed on, because I spent a decent amount of money, as you can see, in the early versions of the game. Then the game got updated, and then whenever I've seen this, I just got tilted, man. And I got tilted really heavily to the point I just stopped spending. And the only stuff I spend money on is the patrons and whatever, and that is like pretty much it. I don't really spend money on anything else. Aside from that, likely I will buy the War Maker's main during some event, perhaps, we will see. But yeah, you have to keep in mind, like, or rather you have to keep in mind that, again, your money has value. You have to know if you require stuff, then you buy it. If you don't require it, if it's not gonna snowball you, you can wait a little bit longer and get more of it, because it will always be better to get more stuff for your money than get stuff instantly and it have zero effect. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. I suppose I went on a rant, but again, I suppose these are the thoughts that came to my head in terms of the stuff I spend money on, the stuff people should spend money on, and a lot of other things, especially for newer servers. Thanks for watching, guys. If you did enjoy the video, do hit that subscribe button. It would help me out a lot. Take care and stay safe out there.